all the best. Do you guys really think that we actually went to the moon? And do you really think that that is just like this big hunk of rock up in the sky that sometimes is visible, sometimes we can see through it, sometimes it's invisible? What is the moon?
Well, now, one thing, you have a theory about the moon, and we expect to be able to get observable facts about the moon fairly soon. What is your theory?
Well, it is by now rather more than a theory. 10 or 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is plasma phenomena, cosmic plasma. It's necessary, because if the moon is a plasma, no man will ever land on it. Soft landing attempts will all fail. That means that the mass of the moon is far less than is currently assumed. It's in a different state of energy, and it has far less mass. That means there is no more explanation for the tides. If the moon, for example, had only 1,000th part of its current mass, then the tides would only be 2 inches high, and the conventional theories instead of sometimes 14 feet. And that means that if it is proved that the moon is a plasma, then all gravitational theories are out, and a new concept of the cosmos and of its laws is to be evolved.
Do you guys really think that the moon is just like this piece of rock that we can go land on up in the sky? Or like, do you kind of think that there is something maybe that we're not told that's going on with these bodies or luminaries in the sky that affect us in such deep manners? Like, I mean, we call people lunatics. So we call people who have lost their minds lunatics, Luna meaning the moon. So, and what effect does this moon have on our minds? Well, clearly a lot, right? So moon governs our mind down here, and not just the mind. I mean, if you think about the menstrual cycle or the moonstral cycle that women have is governed by the moon. We have Monday or Moon Day. You have a demon, D is like an emotion, maybe like a negative emotion. So a negative mind. Mood, because mood and moon and mind all affect each other. Monster or moonster. And do you see that monster drink? Have you guys ever seen this? That it is 666. It's Vav, Vav, Vav from the Hebrew alphabet. Unleash the beast, like monster. And then it even has the alpha and omega symbol as the O in monster. That you see that cross in there, the alpha omega. But you can clearly see that that's from the Hebrew alphabet, the letter Vav. And it's the same thing for www, for World Wide Web, for the 666. So it's like, what the hell is going on here? And why are we, like, guys, wake up, because it's really serious. But going back to the bullet points of words, meant, like you have entertainment, government. It's meant is the mind. So government, you govern the mind. Entertainment, you're entertaining the mind. What about environment? Your environment is governed or determined by your mind. And actually, I think it even goes deeper than that, where when we deal with like full moons and stuff, or red moons, or blood moons, or new moons, it's all about something, ushering in something to our subconscious, perhaps, or even our conscious level. But I think the more so on the subconscious, because it's nighttime, that's when the moon comes out, and that's what it affects. It's like our sleep time, or when we go to bed at night, like it's because our energy is done, or our energy is being drained perhaps by the moon, because it is the opposite of what the sun provides. I mean, the sun is magnetism, and the moon is the opposite of that in nature. And so that's part of the reason why the sun gives you life and makes you feel like you want to go out and energize. And the moon kind of takes that away and makes you want to go to sleep and, reset your body for the next day. Another thing named for the moon, or what about the months? The months of the year, the 12 months of the year, like the 12 signs of the zodiac. I just got into understanding like this whole thing about this quote unquote, this black sun, and like what it is. And I just got blown away, and I want to tell you guys about it.
We are sleeping right now. These are not our real bodies. We are still at the center. We split ourselves in half, and therefore forgot that our bodies were ethereal and without submission to the dualistic cycle of life and death. The children of the Black Sun drank from the living waters, from the sacred well of Ord already, and this experience has been the price we pay for gaining the wisdom of the age. It is not a conscious act, and therefore the aurora borealis could be interpreted as a sort of organic artificial intelligence. This is what the Matrix movie shows as the Matrix Code raining down.
So apparently there's this idea that at the center of our world there's a big black sun, and some places even refer to it as Saturn, and they also have like that hexagonal shape they symbolize with this black sun and with Saturn. And this is crazy. This is gonna be crazy because basically the theory is that this black sun, or Saturn, so to speak, is projecting our reality or our consciousness out from this black sun in the center of our world, like the North Pole, the center of our world. And that is what is the aurora borealis, like that green lighting is like it's the aura of the sun or of the earth. And so essentially they're saying that it's projecting as a consciousness or a fallen consciousness of itself, like as a mirage, so to speak. And that's what's projecting out the sun and the moon with Polaris. I mean, this is just crazy. So I looked into the emerald tablets of Thoth. And so I was like, I want to hear, because I think he had, on his emerald tablets or whatever, I think he had said, something about this, right? And I used to follow Billy Carson a lot, and I was just thinking about like, oh, well, he's not flat. Like, he says the earth isn't flat and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if he's read the emerald tablets, like, he fucking knows this. So like, all right, so listen. So deep in Earth's heart lies the halls of Amenti, far beneath the islands of sunken Atlantis, halls of the dead and halls of the living, bathed in fire of the infinite awe. Deep in the halls of life grew a flower, flaming, expanding, driving backward the night. Okay, so that's like the flower of life, right? Or something. And it says drawing backward the night. Placed in the center, a ray of great potence, life-giving, light-giving, filling with powerful who came near it. Placed in the center, okay. There in the circle from eon to eon sit the great masters, living life not known to man. Time after time, while their bodies lie sleeping, incarnate they in the bodies of men, teaching and guiding onward and upward, out of the darkness and into the light. So, yeah, it's just kind of like, okay, is there something at the center of Earth that is like a big, I think personally it's a big toroidal field, so it's like a big black hole, so to speak, but I didn't think it was like a projector, like it makes me honestly think about a computer and like, am I stuck in a fucking game or something? And so that's why I always say to you guys, like, we change this world through manifestation, through like thought and imagination, through the astral realm that we don't really know how to handle, that we need to learn how to handle. Because once we do that, it just takes a bunch of us to affect how this consciousness is being, I guess, spread throughout our world. And this is like next ass level shit, guys, really next level. Because right, if you think about it, it's the Earth's aura. That's why it's the aurora borealis or whatever they call it. You know, it has the word aura in it. And so this black sun apparently is like this Saturn. So maybe it's not far away. It's actually the sun underneath us that's projecting reality. And that's why they call this place like Hades or hell or whatever, because and Saturn rules is Hades or whatever, because Saturn is underneath it, right? I don't know, because we don't know what these lights are in the sky above. And the wandering stars, which are the quote unquote planets, they're wandering stars, they're luminaries, and they're not lit by the sun at all. That's why they're the wandering stars. They go in totally different motions than the fixed stars, clearly. I mean, and then you have Polaris, which never moves. Well, I guess here was the other theory, is that, well, okay, the moral of doing this would be, all right, if your consciousness, they call it a fallen consciousness. I don't really know what they mean. Okay. So like, it's not at a good state anymore, wants to mirror itself, so to speak. So like, if we were to call this some sort of virtual reality, anything that would come into your into your face, into your attention, would be mirroring almost like the opposite of you. So like so whatever's going on in the world is like the opposite, your shadow of what you aren't, or like you're getting like the mirror of what you aren't, in a sense, or seeing like the shadow of it. That's my understanding of what they were kind of saying with that. And they were saying that's kind of what this whole thing is, like, you know, the evil or whatever that you see, it's like, it's to counterpart like the good on the other end, or like, it's showing you the other end of it. Or you ever notice that when you graduate from college, you wear a Saturn Black Cube across on your head? It's like sick. It's sick. That's the mockery, like just right in your face. And hey guys, so you know how I've been like kind of recently kind of been equating this whole looking glass, like what's this concept of this God looking through this looking glass down on us or whatever, and what that means, and kind of equating it at first originally to like biblical cosmology, and possibly it referring to like the firmament or like the crystalline sea above us or something, like looking at us. But then I started thinking a little bit deeper into it. And, you know, let me read this to you. I'm in 1 Corinthians 13:12. And it says, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known." So basically saying like, we see you through a mirror or some kind of looking glass. And so then I was thinking, you know how we're told through religion and whatnot, maybe we're not. This is what is my understanding, is that we're all a bit of God, and God wanted to basically experience this world or this realm of consciousness, experience this through all of us, through all these different like souls or vessels, so to speak, right? And so that's kind of what maybe some people equate this whole experience of life or reality to, is God experiencing it through different eyes, through different looking glasses. So are we actually the looking glasses of God, and it has nothing to do with cosmology or the firmament or like crystalline sea above us or anything looking at us, and that we are the fucking looking glasses? Because maybe we can't separate the invisible intelligence that we feel is connected with the flesh, but maybe we're actually like looking from like outside of like this realm entirely. You know, maybe we're looking at it through the looking glass at ourselves. I don't know. It was just something I thought of where I took it away from the whole cosmology, universe, how is this whole thing structured, and kind of took it as, holy fuck, maybe it's a spiritual concept of right now we are God's people. We are God's looking glass. We are the ones that God sees through. We are the witnesses. I don't know. It's just a theory. But I mean, it's almost like perhaps we put ourselves, our consciousness or whatever, we put ourselves in some virtual 3D reality sort of simulation where you gotta have laws, you gotta have rules to the game, right? So you have to have, like the 5 senses. That's how we perceive things. We can't perceive things outside of that, or that we know of. We have to have things like emotion, like fear, that'll keep you, in line. You have to have things like the worship gene. So whenever you try to escape, you're always circled right back in. And it's always just a bunch of propaganda bullshit trying to convince us not to trust our intuition, not to trust ourselves, that we don't know what's best, that everyone else does. Everyone else outside of us is God. Don't look within because you don't want to see what's inside there. And it will be scary and be fearful, right? And so I'm sorry, this might be a little bit all over the place as usual, but going back to the whole Sims theory, maybe for hypothetical purposes only, maybe let's say there are 144,000 like souls here, right? And the rest are kind of like NPCs here for the purpose of our purpose, for learning, and to like see like, oh shit, like I don't want to fucking act like that, or I don't like that's not what I'm like, or it's literally a program almost in a sense. And perhaps that there are real souls here, and that's why certain people connect and whatnot. But so yeah, I need you guys to know about this black sun, because it connects to everything, including like Judaism. Because why do they wear yarmulkes like that? They look like a black sun disk. Why do they do what's it called? Teflon, where they wrap the 7 times around the left hand, which is kind of peculiar considering everything else is the right hand of this, right hand of that, right hand here. So they do it around the left hand, and it's 2 cubes, it's black cubes, like the black hex of Saturn, like Saturn fucking hexed you, or brought you into crystallization, or if you want to look at it totally neutrally, it's as if whatever machine is, Saturn moon matrix is what they call it, whatever matrix brought you here, crystallized you, you got hexed into this reality world. But so this is what I'm saying, is like, so do Jews on the top levels, I guess, do they really know this, or are they not like really Jews? Like, are they Khazar? Like, I don't know, because that Teflon, that black cube, that square that you wear on that they wear on the top of their head, and they wrap that thing around their arms. Like, do they even know what the fuck they're doing? They say, oh, it's to bring you closer to God. I think it's the black sun, and I think it's literally saying like you're projecting your reality out. They're literally wearing black sun cubes, or like the Saturn hex on our fucking heads, and think that like and make no connection between that and the celestial bodies, whether there be this like black, whatever I'm talking about, whether there be this other celestial body around us or not. You can't negate the fact that this is all related to the celestial bodies. I mean, wrapping it the 7 times, like the 7 heavenly bodies, like the 7 chakras, like the 7 colors, like the 7 notes, like the 7 days of the week, you know, like the Septuagint, everything, sept is 7. It's weird. It's fucking, I'll tell you that it's weird. It's weird that we wear these little sun disk yarmulkes. It's weird that we wear, we don't even know why. And we just think like, oh, it's ritual and tradition. Like, we don't even know what we're tying or binding ourselves to. We don't even know how to break any kind of like ties that we create. Do you understand? Like, this is, it's not a joke. I mean, it's almost like you can't deny the fact that there's a connection there. So I'm like, how do I explain to these people this idea about this black sun possibly projecting out our all this energy in this holographic universe that I don't even barely understand, and then seeing like Jewish people wearing fucking black disc suns on their fucking heads, and or like little projector looking things, or the hex of Saturn, or the black cubes, because it's so you're cursed by, what the fuck do we even know? Do we even know? So, you know. So, yeah, I mean, that's this whole theory about there could be this other celestial body that just works, that could be a cause of some of the things that, well, obviously, every celestial body has an effect on us, and we just don't pay attention to it. And that's the whole point of this setup, is that you come in and you never connect to yourself. And if you think about it, if you shut your mind off completely and don't have any thoughts, your mind and your soul seem like 2 separate entities in a sense, right? And so I don't know. I'm still working on like how to balance that and get control of that myself, because I want to get in touch with my soul, and I want to shut like the mind off. And I feel like it gets so crowded with static. Like, you know, it just also makes you wonder, go read the Book of Enoch, or ask me for the little movie of it that I watch. It's short and it's like to the point, and it like shows you and it tells you, they talk about like the sun going through these different gates. And so I'm thinking, okay, are they talking about the Tropic of Capricorn, the Tropic of Cancer, and like what happens when it goes through those gates? Are these wormholes or portals? And are the stars like what? We're not being told really what's going on here. And I really do think that we have such grand effects with everything around us, and definitely what's in the sky. And they definitely don't want you to connect it at all, which just sucks, because it's so freaking cool. I mean, have you heard about there's something called the Moedim, and basically this is God's clock. As I said, once you're given the truth, you're kind of given the keys to freedom, or to at least seek more freedom, because now you know, because ignorance, I feel like, is true bondage. Oh my God. So I'm looking more into like this Tefillin, you know, this black cube that Jews tie around their arm and their head and pray and whatnot. Remember I said I thought it was peculiar that they wrap it around their left arms. And today, if anyone listened to my earlier episode about the right hand of God, like I had this dream, and there's these group of people in the Bible, they refer to like them as the right hand of God, right? And so isn't it peculiar that the Jews wear this tefillin? They wrap it around their left hands as like a way to like say their devotion and whatnot to God. So are they the left hands of God? Is that saying that you're on like...
So to close this episode up with some of my just like final thoughts. Yeah. So what's up with this black sun? I don't know if it's the same sun we see in the sky, if it's a different celestial body, if our sun goes underneath the earth, because in the book of Enoch, it mentions something like our sun goes underneath earth. I don't have the scripture right in front of me, but something you can look into that. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with this symbolism in religion, but you have to admit it is kind of sketchy. And, you know, why not ask why? I mean, I'm just asking why. I'm just raising the question. And that's another thing, is like people, I don't know if they're actually people or robots or what, because I posted that thing about Tulsi Gabbard. I'm like, what? That's an Adam's apple. Like, clearly, it's like being shown in your face as a fucking man. And let's just say either way it is or it's not. I'm getting reamed on fucking TikTok about this. And let's just say, like, I got reamed on my Isaac Newton post too. And I'm like, Faith, don't read this shit, because number one, none of them are fucking studied. If any of them read a book or anything, why are you like attacking me for just questioning the authority? And that's when you know it's like literally they're fucking like robots. And they also like make fun of, like scripture. So like I have on my profile, a verse on there. It's like John 8:32 or whatever. It's 1:5, whatever it is. It's like a scripture quote. And like people are literally commenting that and like laughing. And I'm like, it's just like weird. So I just don't pay attention to anyone really commenting or doing any of that on, but it's not like I am an influencer making money off of this. So I really don't need to be posting on there. I really should just focus on like my own blog and whatnot. But yeah, people are not nice on there, and they're basically telling me I'm a tranny phobe or whatever, because I said that it looks like Tulsi Gabbard as an Adam's apple. And it's like, God, you can't fucking win with these people. Like, you can't say anything like that is just questioning anything, and they will literally flip the fuck out on you. And it's like, and if you say anything back, that's like even the clown face back, sometimes TikTok will censor that. Like, everything is becoming super censored. Facebook's becoming censored. It's like literally telling me that they're restricting my, my visibility because of my posts. It's like literally pathetic, but it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing I can really do about it. So, but yeah, I think it's really just pathetic to even, I wonder if they're NPCs or if they're actually people with souls that are actually like have a problem with me bringing to the attention of others who want to see it that this looks like a fucking man, and not just like that, just using that as an example. Like, you could use it for like really anything. I'm saying, if you have a fucking problem with it, what is the problem with you is the real question you should be asking yourself. Like, get a load off of my fucking dick. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? So yeah, anyway, I really am like wondering what the hell is up with this and what's up with these words and what we're really saying. And I have to go more in depth on the more words that I found that I just gave a little sample in this episode. So And I really wasn't even going to include that in there because I was going to make this all about the black sun. But I said, no, like, let me just include it all together and put a table of contents so that people can jump around and see what they want to see or hear what they want to hear. But yeah, so I appreciate everyone for listening. And if you have any thoughts, definitely send them to me. I would love to hear them. And, yeah, hope you guys are hanging in there. Whoa, wait. How about this? Do you guys ever think of that song, Black Hole Sun? It's like, black hole sun, here I come. Look that up. Look up that song. So, yeah, it's like, woo! Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. Thanks, guys, for listening.